Okay, hi everybody. At this stage, I'm going to show you how to cut off the funnel. So obviously you can see that that's the mold that I need to take apart in a second and show the keyring. I'm going to use one of these tools. It's called an engineer's vice, and you find it really useful for holding the metal in place when I'm working on it. I'm going to clamp down the engineer's vice to the table with a G clamp so it can't move around when I'm working on it. I'm going to use a junior hacksaw just here, and a pencil to mark out where my funnel's going to be marked. I've also got a pot of water away from the pewter caster, so no water goes near the pewter caster, otherwise it reacts violently with the temperature difference and the metal will spit. So you've got to make sure that you're away from any liquid metal when using water. But if the metal's hot still, and I haven't waited very long, I can then cool it down faster in the water. So I'm going to use a bit of water on that bit. So you'll see at this stage, I'm going to carefully take it apart now. You'll notice that my hand positions, I've got a thumb there and my finger there, and I'm very careful not to touch this bit, all the metal, because it can still be very hot. So because wood is an insulator, the edges won't be that hot. It doesn't conduct heat very well, whereas the metal will be very hot. The wood will probably be hot at this point and on the back. So try not to touch those bits, just on the edges of the wood, and it'll mean that you don't burn your fingers. So just be careful not to drop it like that. Now you'll see, you just carefully prise it apart, and there's the mold. Now try and get your finger into there, or your thumb into there, with your nail, and just break that apart. And you can see the design has then hopefully stayed on it. I just dropped the design into the water just to cool it down. Now, I'm then going to break the mold. Now, if you can get it out gently, you might be able to reuse the mold again once the wood dries. Or if you'd waited long, you might not have needed the water at all, and you could carefully take it out of the mold, and you could have reused the mold. And that's called batch production if you manage to use it quite a few times. At the moment, because I've broken the mold after the first time, that's called one-off production. Okay. Now, at this stage, I'm going to draw with my pencil where I want to cut off the funnel. Okay. I'm going to very carefully just draw along that line so you can see it. And I'm going to set up the engineer's vice to the table, clamp it down nice and tight. I'm going to put it so I'll be sawing downhill, so downwards. So you can see I put it at an angle so the funnel is at the side, and I'm going to be sawing down. It's just a lot easier to see what you're doing, and it's a lot easier to saw down. Now you've got to be very careful when you use the saw that you saw on the waste side of the line. Now the waste side in this case is the funnel. So I don't want to be sawing perfectly on the line, because if I do, I could end up sawing off a bit of the keyring that I want to keep. So if I saw touching the line but on the waste side of it, then it won't damage my design, and I can file it back if I need to take a bit more off afterwards. But if you saw on the line, you can easily go over the line and damage your work. But also, the saw blade has a thickness, and whenever you saw, you end up removing a section that you saw. Okay, so be very careful when doing that. And then saw down very carefully, keep it nice and straight, don't have the saw at an angle, and just slowly cut through. Now, that's ready then to file down, and you can see there's a little bit of extra funnel there that can go back into the pewter caster to be melted down afterwards. You just give that back to teacher, and then he can put it back so that it can be recycled. Okay, and there it is. Okay, thank you for watching.